Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in this week to This Georgia Clay. So let's recap. So last week you guys saw our beautiful IKEA hack in my office. It's absolutely a dream come true. Everything that I could ever have imagined in my pretty little head of what I wanted in my office space to finally have my own space. And so this week you'll see the final touches. For the office, we just have some minor things to do, like the rest of the baseboards and my fridge doors. But that's something that I could update you guys over on Instagram, or we'll also make a video where I'm just doing a walkthrough of when the basement is finally finished in its entirety. But in this week's vlog, we're getting into the beautiful decorating of the office space, filling up my IKEA cabinet, which is the harvested unit. And then also finally getting a door on the back side of my office that goes into my unfinished storage space. We actually cleaned that space out a little bit as well, so there's lots of space in there for lots more Christmas decor or anything for this Georgia Clay that I switch out throughout the seasons. So a lot of potential within that space as well. So let's go ahead and get into this week's vlog. Desenio specializes in stylish wall art and works to make it affordable to everyone. They've created a beautiful catalog of art to fit everyone's taste, from nature to abstract to glam, or even text art with inspirational words and quotes. Desenio operates in 33 countries and I have nothing but great things to say about them. If you're looking for that perfect finishing touch for your space, check out the link in the description, Georgia_Clay, for 45% off prints, personalized and canvases excluded, and 10% off frames. Hurry, it won't last long. It's valid until April 9th. So the prints that I went with were prints that matched the theme or the color scheme of my office space. I know there's not a door there, but you'll see that a little bit later on. However, so these ones, I chose to go with something that was more lines of neutral. I also wanted something that was artwork that also had text in it, something that I haven't gotten from Desenio before. And also I wanted to have different sizes of frames as well. So I did go with a white frame, and then everything else I kept with a nice neutral light oak frame that I really love. I do have some darker oak ones in my bedroom, but then for this office space, I wanted to again keep with the color scheme of whites, gold, or should I say brass, and neutrals. So this print actually was really large. I kind of went along the lines of going back and forth of wanting a TV over the chair that you see over there in the corner, my little nice lounge space, kick it spot, should you say. And so for this one, I just wanted to really have a large frame. I did get that mat. I didn't ultimately end up using the mat because when I put the print inside of the larger frame, it just took up too much of the beautiful artwork. And that was just something that was probably, I chose the wrong one. So that's not anything on Desenio. I just should have gotten a smaller mat to go within that frame so that way I can see more of my photo. So I'll keep that one, and next time I get to hopefully partner with them, then I'll go ahead and use that at a later time. So these prints I got, the smaller ones or this larger one, which I absolutely love, that's gonna go over the chair behind me. It just gave me the feeling of just something that was whimsical. It had the white in it. It also had a little bit of gold in it as well, so I felt like it really went with it. And totally different from my comfort zone. Usually I love flower prints and I usually keep to my florals, so this time I wanted to change it up a little bit. So I'm really loving these prints. They just came out so beautiful and the frames are really nice. I really like the color of the frames, again, keeping with that aesthetic. But before we go ahead and get into this portion of the vlog, we'll need to go ahead and back up just a little bit and show you exactly where all of these beautiful new prints are gonna go. So I wanted to create a space within the office that had an area where I can just sit and lounge. I can respond to all of your beautiful comments. I also can do some work on my personal computer and things like that. So of course, in this Georgia Clay fashion, I needed it to be beautiful because I didn't want it just to be a blank wall. So I really wanted to go with a board and batten look here. I thought about doing it actually within the whole space, but I opted out of that and decided just to do it within this one area because I wanted somewhere where it was just a defined space where it really meant that this is for you to relax and to enjoy. So here I am just cutting down some 1x3s to create the battens. And again, your girl's over here measuring and doing her thing and getting really good with that saw. So of course I didn't just want a plain simple board and batten detail. I found this molding on Home Depot and I absolutely loved it. It's like kind of like a ridge look. I guess I hope I'm explaining that correctly, but I'll make sure to link it in my LTK. But I just felt like it was gonna create that nice balance to break up the space. Also provide some texture within the space as well because I felt like it needed some. I didn't want it to just seem like it was just straight lines everywhere, and I really loved it. So 2 of these boards, I believe they were like 16 bucks a piece, and then I just purchased 2 of them. And then when we needed to connect the additional board, Matt just cut it at a 45-degree angle, so you'll see that a little bit further on. So once I secured the first board to the wall using brad nails, and I'll just go back and fill those nails. I know that it may look like it's 2 different types of material, but it's just the different wood grain that they use, but they're both the same. So it comes up as a different color, and the color really didn't matter to me because I was going to paint it white ultimately. But Matt just making sure that it's fully secured. He used some wood glue and then also some brad nails as well, just to make sure that that seam didn't have any or provide me with any issues going forward. So for painting all of the trim in the office, including the baseboards, I use the same color that's on the coffee bar for the shiplap. So it is called Whipped Cream by Bear, and it's very comparable to Chantilly Lace by Benjamin Moore. So I love that color, but I was at Home Depot already, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with this whipped cream.
Yep, so we were tired of looking at that big hole in the wall too, so we decided to finally get a door to finish off the space. We went with the single panel shaker style door. We got it from Home Depot and it was $208. The install went pretty smooth actually, so you'll see that process right now. everything we needed for the door. The only thing we did was 1x3 for the casing, and that's just a simple 45-degree cut. And then we grabbed this brass door handle to also go with that door as well. So first thing you want to do is just kind of put the door in the space to get a feel for how it looks, and also to see what you need to do to prepare it to fit in the door jamb. So as you can see, it was a little bit too tall, so I just needed to shave off a little bit. So all I'm doing here is making sure that because the door jamb can actually shift a little bit when you're kind of carrying it and moving it around. So I just kind of put it in the same spot on both ends. And then I ended up cutting about 1/4 inch off of each side just to keep it even, to make sure that it's square, because the floor was already flat and level and all that. And then I ended up just making my mark at about 1/4 inch on each end, and then just using the circular saw against the edge of my square here. And then that keeps your cut nice and straight and keeps everything clean. So I decided to go with these contractor shims. They're like twice as long as a regular shim. And that's what I saw a lot of the pros do when I was doing my research on how to put a door in, because this is my first one. So, if the pros do it, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. So all I'm doing on this side is putting a couple of shims in place to make sure that the hinge side of the door is plumb first, and then that gives me a good base to start from. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the door in and get it in place first, and then we can kind of work on filling in the gaps from there. So all you do is, once you get the door in where it's supposed to be, you take 2 shims basically opposite each other. So you put one shim on the inside, one shim on the outside of the door, and then kind of crisscross them until it fills in the spot that you need. Not too tight, but once you get it in there, then you can go ahead and shoot a nail straight through those shims, and that's what actually supports your door. So you can basically grab anything flat just to kind of put it against the door jamb and the drywall to make sure that they're both flat together. That way when you put your casing on, it goes a lot smoother. So make sure you account for that during the install process. So I'm just kind of making sure as I go that everything is still level, still plumb. And like I said earlier, I'm just filling in the gaps. So I'm just sticking 2 shims opposite each other through gaps, at even spacing, kind of even spacing around each hinge, and then shooting a nail straight through the shim. So you don't want to shoot nails straight through the door jamb, because it'll cause it to be a little warped. So you shoot through the shims, and that's where the support comes from. So I didn't edit this part out on purpose because I wanted to show you guys that, stuff happens. I actually forgot to make sure that the front, because I made sure the door jamb was plumb, but I didn't check the other side, like the front side of the door jamb, to make sure it was actually level. So the top of the door jamb needed to come forward a little bit more, because my door, I actually noticed that the door was swinging when I just let it go. And that's not what you want. If your door is perfectly level and plumb, then it'll stay still where you put it. So here I'm actually just prying it away from the wall at the top a little bit. That way it gives me a little bit of wiggle room to kind of position it back where I need it to be. And then I went ahead and shot it with some 15 gauge nails again. And then we were good to go. not too bad. So everything is in. Once you're done with that part, then you can go ahead and get rid of your shims that are sticking out on both sides. You can use a box cutter if you want to score and just snap the shims, but why not use an excuse? I paid money for these tools, I might as well use them, right? So I used a multi-tool to actually go ahead and just zip off both sides of the shims that were sticking out of the frame. And once you're done with that, it's time to move on to casing. So with that, it was time to go ahead and put our door handle on. And we were at Home Depot, right? Brittany showed me the door handle she wanted. $118. I said, no, you must be joking. Unless that thing opens the door for me or massages your hand or something, we gotta find something better. So I would call this a good dupe. We went ahead and found a nice brass knob from Schlage, and that one was $28. So win-win. So we went ahead and put everything in. Everything went into the door, the pre-hung door, perfectly. Everything was already notched out for you, so all you have to do is literally just put the doorknob on, screw everything together, and you're done. So I tested the door, just closed it real quick, make sure everything was lining up right, and it looked good. It went better than I expected it to, so hey, that's a thumbs up. So what you see me here doing is making my 1/4 inch reveal mark, just in a few places so I know where to put the 1x3 to make my casing. So a combination square is a great tool for that because you can kind of set the depth that you want. So I set that at a 1/4 inch and then just put it up against the side of the door jamb and made a few marks, and it made it a whole lot easier to get everything lined up. So, and then here it's just 1x3s cut at 45 degrees, and that's it. I mean, it's not much to explain here. So it was a really simple process, but it definitely cleans up the look of the door and gets everything nice and neat.
So we finally come to the finishing touches, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. I hope you guys love it just as much as I do. Trust me, if I can live down here, I would. But I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. It kind of reminds me of the vibes of my owner's suite, which I absolutely love as well. And I just wanted somewhere that was just for me, but also Matt can come and spend time with me as well. So I'll let you guys enjoy just watching me putting up, again, those finishing touches, and I'll be back in a few moments and we'll talk over it. So come on in, guys. So starting over here in my office space, again, I'll have French doors that'll come into this space. I typically will just use one of the doors, not both of them. This is not a fairy tale princess thing every day and I have to open both doors to come in. So I felt comfortable putting this here, and it's just a little shelf that I got from IKEA. I think it was like, what, 20 bucks or something like that. And then I found this beautiful canvas from Kirkland's that I loved, and I wanted to add some more neutral and beige tones within the office. This print here that I got from Decenio. So I just wanted to read really quick that it was a really good quote and it really just speaks to me. But it says, someday everything will make perfect sense. So for now, laugh at the confusion, smile through the tears, and keep reminding yourself that everything happens for a reason. Today will never come again. Be a friend, encourage someone, take time to care, let your words heal and not wound. Love, 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 because love conquers all. And I feel like that really speaks to me, and that's the kind of person that I strive to be in this world. So coming over into the office space, again, the inspiration or the first start of the office was my coffee bar. If you guys remember that vlog, and if you haven't seen it, we'll make sure that we link it in the description. But this was the start of the coffee bar. If you guys watched that vlog, this coffee sign was not there, but a dear friend of mine, Meg, sent that over to me this week. So I wanted to go ahead and display it in here, and it matches perfectly. She just knows me oh so well. So I have that here, and that was kind of the inspiration behind everything. I have yet to use that Keurig. It's mainly just for looks. I have an espresso and I love my Nespresso. So eventually I'll use it, but when I go back to nights, right now I'm working days, that I'm pretty sure that I'll be using that coffee maker. So swinging over here within my lounge space, I wanted to create moments in my office. So for me, I wanted somewhere where I can lounge, I can do work. When I'm off of work, I can chill in my office space as well. And so I think this really came off to be that great inspiration in that moment that I wanted to create. Again, here's another beautiful print that I chose from Decenio with a light oak frame, and it also has some gold tones in it as well, because you guys know that the colors in here are neutrals, whites, and brass. So I wanted to have that here, and I think it's just so beautiful. And then this chair, if you guys know, that I had posted it on my Instagram, and it's from Target. It's a really good dupe to a, what is the name of it? Six Penny is the name of the company of the chair that they have, which is extremely expensive, but this one's a really good dupe. Everything will be linked within my LTK page, and I'll make sure it's in the description if you guys would like to shop it. I loved this brass lamp here that is part of the Hearth and Hand collection, and I got that from Target as well. It was about 60 bucks. And this tree here was from Studio McGee collection. Again, at Target, I love Target. So again, Target has some awesome finds that you can find, and you keep everything within a nice, considerable budget. And also, I love the trim work here. It was just a little splurge to do the molding here and then have the board and batten just to break it up a little bit. But I think it creates softness in the space. It creates some type of texture and just feminine. I also wanted to have a TV. I went back and forth of having artwork or a TV here. I was gonna get a framed TV, but Matt was like, not for $1,000. So I didn't. I opted out of the frame TV because it was the 43 inches, the one that I wanted, but it was again $1,000 for something that I'm not really gonna watch all that much, because I do, believe it or not, really work. So I went ahead and got an Amazon Alexa 15-inch. She's hearing me talk now. But this one I actually like. It's HD. It has Netflix on it. It has Disney Plus on it. So it's just like having a regular TV, and they also sell a frame that you can put on it as well. So I purchased that just to give it some more added interest in here. So also, I don't think I mentioned this beautiful light here. So I wanted something that was a chandelier, but I also didn't want it to be too invasive in the space, but go with the space. So I chose this one because I love the shades that were on here, again with that linen look, and then the nice soft brass, and it just really goes with the space. I got this from Amazon for 59 bucks. There was one that I wanted that was a little bit higher. Went and found this one, 59, looks exactly like the other one that I wanted, so it was a win-win. Here are my beautiful door here. Matt put in for me. I did paint it. There's still some spots that I need to go back, I'm looking at now, but I wanted a shaker style door. I love this handle here. This was not the original handle. There was a handle that I wanted on Amazon that was $118 for one handle. And Matt was like, oh no. So we were at Home Depot and we actually seen this one from Sledge. And it was only 29 bucks or 28 bucks. So it was a win-win and it was very reminiscent of the one that I want. I'm pretty sure that Matt will include that in there. So it worked out. Over here on my office space, I wanted, again, something that was feminine, that fit me, my style, my vibe. I think our home is a good balance of both of us and our style, but my office was somewhere I truly can shine and make it personally my own. So that's here. I got this light from Amazon, again, the same light that's over the coffee bar. Moving on to my beautiful cabinet that I finally got to decorate. I wanted the theme of the cabinet to be basically like a time capsule, so moments of love. So I have pictures here with me and Matt, because you know, he's my baby. I love my kids too, but I have pictures of them all around the house. But in my office, I really wanted just something of me and my husband. So I finally have wedding pictures in here. We have been married going on 14 years this year in July, and I never printed any of our wedding photos. And I could actually open it up so you won't have that glare on there. So that's one of our wedding pictures, and it actually smells so good in here because I have a candle in here, and every time you open it, it just smells amazing. So I wanted to create, again, a time capsule here. So just moments that mean so much to me. I love white roses, and they were actually roses that I had in my wedding. They had some white flowers, so I really love them. And this was a moment to put my Rose Forever flowers here, and I put a heart because just heart means love, and I'm just a loving kind of person. And then this was our first true international trip together. Amsterdam was our first one, but this was one that was really special, and it was us in Paris. And I got the Eiffel Tower while I was in Paris as well on our second trip, and I just felt like that was nice to go together. And then another wedding picture here that I put in this little capsule here for Matt and I. So it's just glass, and I got that actually from IKEA. So that was in, I think it was like $8 or something like that. So I got that there, just a nice candle. And then again, another photo from Desenio. I got this from Target, and I felt like the blush stems actually went with the speckles that are here. And I got some paint on me while I was painting, so excuse that. These decorative books are places that I've also been as well. I've been to New York and Los Angeles. Of course, that is our home state. Matt's from LA. So yeah, we just have some things here. And again, another candle and just some gold elements to go with the room as well. So
I'm gonna tell them how you put the that little riser up in that book.
Oh yeah. So I wanted to be able to see the Miami book, again, going with the colors of white and gold. When the cabinet door was actually closed, but when it wasn't like that, I couldn't see it. So I ended up using just a little piece of another decor that I had from Target from a collection. It's just some little signs that go in my little coffee bar, and I just used it as a riser. So that's something that you can do. No one will ever see it. You only know it because I just showed you. But it just creates that nice look there. And then that candle I got from Hobby Lobby, and it actually smells so good. I should burn it, but it's just so pretty, and I like the fluted detail, so I'm probably never gonna burn it. So yeah, so that is my office space. Again, I'm gonna point out my chair. I love my chair. I feel like I've only had it now for about, I think 2 weeks or so, maybe not even that fully, but it does have some transfer for some clothes that I was wearing here. But other than that, again, fluted detail, nice ivory with the gold legs, and I love it, but it is a little bit too firm for me, and I'm pretty sure that I will change out to a realistic chair later on. Matt told me not to get it, but I felt like it was beautiful and pretty, and I had to have it. So I'll wear it down until I can't stand it anymore and get a new one, a realistic chair. But again, I love my space. I think it's beautiful. I think it's timeless. I think it's classy. It was really going on those vintage styles that I wanted. So something that just stood the test of time, and I really feel like I created that in this space, and I absolutely love it. So next week you guys will see Matt's office. It's entirely different from this. It's beautiful too, but it's a man cave. It's a man's vibe, and I feel like there's not a lot of blogs that have a man's office, so this will be something that the guys will like for sure, because we need some more of those spaces so we can get inspiration, so we can give them a beautiful space too. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week to This Georgia Clay. Remember to check the link in the description for Desenio so you guys can save now. And so thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.